What's going on, champs and champions? It's FireMonkey here, and can I be completely honest about something? Maybe this is a little controversial, but I feel that the medallions on the island, you know, the one you have in Lavish Lair, the one over here at Grand Glacier, Reckless Railway, we have the one over here I'm going to in Snooty Steps. I feel like all of these milestones, or, you know, medallions, whatever you want to call them, are kind of pointless in a way, right? Because, as you guys know, whenever you have a medallion, you are able to get some shield back, but you also have a giant permanent circle that gets smaller and smaller depending on how many medallions you have, that tells people exactly where you are. And maybe before the whole entire nerf they did to them, medallions are pretty cool and nice to use. However, after the nerf they did, where if you have one medallion, which most of the time you'll probably only have one or two, you only get around 50 to 65 shield. It just feels like such a waste of time to actually go around to go ahead and try getting a medallion, at least in normal lobbies. Of course, if you're playing a bot lobby, it doesn't really matter too much because, you know, at the end of the day, you're playing against non-real players, so it's not like you're going to be actually in danger of being third-partied or anything else. If you are, you know, just easily just shoot them because it's a bot lobby, you know, it's not an actual match or anything like that. However, if you're in actual matches, I feel that medallions just serve absolutely no purpose, and they're more of a hindrance than they are a helpful benefit towards you. Because let's say you have one medallion. Okay, cool, you have a pretty small circle, you know, it's a decent size, so it's not exactly on you right away, but you have a pretty small circle that is showing your exact location or generalized location to every single person in the map, and you're only getting the benefit of going up to 50 shield. You know, maybe when you have like 4 or 5 medallions, maybe it's worth it because you'll have the non-buffed version, but realistically, whenever you're playing a match, or I guess, you know, a non-nerf version, I should have said, but realistically, whenever you're playing a match, you might have 1 or 2 medallions, but most of the time, you're not going to be carrying around every single medallion in the entire lobby, because that's just unrealistic. You know, maybe in the very, very late game, if you manage to eliminate some people who had medallions, yeah, you'll be able to carry all of them, but I feel like, you know, with how Epic Games has actually, you know, made the medallions in the game, it is better off for you to actually go ahead and not go for medallions at all until you get to the end of a match and until you start eliminating other people who have them, right? That's when I feel like medallions actually become useful, because you're not spending your time going around the match in order to actually get them. You're going ahead and just waiting for everyone else to obtain them, then you're eliminating someone who has it and just taking it off of their dead body, which honestly feels like more of a power move than going for the NPCs themselves, because not only do you have to actually fight them here, you know, you end up actually taking some damage from the AI and everything and almost dying, but you also have to deal with third parties. You also have to deal with everyone nearby. And the only real reason I see for going for some of the, you know, the NPCs on the island isn't even for the medallion, but it's for their mythic weapon. Like Peter Griffin's hammer pump shotgun, I absolutely love that weapon. It is one of my favorite weapons in the game, one of my favorite mythics, because it packs quite a punch. So I understand wanting to go and eliminate the actual enemies for the actual, you know, shotguns or whatever else they give you, but the medallions are at a point where I'm like, if I'm in a normal match, I might just go for the mythic weapon and not even pick up the medallion. If it gets picked up, you know, it might be a teammate or whoever else I'm playing with, because I see no point in myself going out here and trying to go for the medallions my own. And you know, maybe it's just me being a boomer who's just like, hey, I play bot lobbies or whatever, but when I play real matches, you know, the medallions always get me killed or whatnot. But at the exact same time, it feels like, you know, pre-nerf medallions were actually pretty solid, right? You know, they were a thing you wanted to get because they were, in a sense, a game changer. And the more medallions you had, the better it was of a game changer, because it was just, you know, like faster shield regen or whatever else. You became a beast, a force to be reckoned with by just having 1 or 2 medallions. However, now after the nerf and everything else, it feels like something that is just there in the game because it's a new feature, right? And there have been modified and, you know, altered versions of medallions that Epic Games has worked on before, such as one that actually increases how much shield you can have instead of being focused on, you know, how your medallion capacity is, or, you know, how fast it regens your shield. And there was even another version that was Siphon, wherever you would hit an enemy, depending on how many augments or, you know, medallions you had, you would actually siphon health off of your enemies. And I feel like both of those versions would be better in the current state of how medallions work compared to the whole entire shield regen version, because it just feels utterly pointless to me. And, you know, maybe you guys agree with it, maybe you don't, or whatever else. I would just love to have a comment section down below, you know, talking about all this, but I would love to hear what you guys think about medallions, because I think that, you know, if they really want to keep the medallions in the game, maybe they should go ahead and swap it for the other version. I know the Siphon one was like an early test version that they never ended up releasing or preparing for all of them, but the one that actually made it so you had more and more shield that you actually were able to have on your character, maybe it was more overshield or something along those lines, that one is in the files for every single one of the medallions, and they can technically enable it. I'm not for sure how broken or unbroken it would be, because of course, you know, maybe it wasn't the plan for them to have that version enabled in the first place, but I do feel like in the current state of the game, especially in just Battle Royale, Zero Build, and everything else, you know, it's not worth it to go ahead and grab those medallions. Now, I do want to mention that as someone who mainly plays bot lobbies. You know, I have been playing a little bit more real lobbies here and there, especially this season. I do gotta admit that, you know, in a bot lobby where you have no focus on actually going against, you know, real players or anything, medallions are kind of nice. You know, they're not the worst thing in the world. You know, it's just something that's kind of there, but that's also because of the fact that most of the time I'm already at full shield anyways. So, you know, it's like, hey, you know, they can't really hit me too much, so the medallion just kind of sits there and boosts me passively over time. But in a normal match, when you have actual people who can actually aim at you and deal some damage to you, it is not the best thing. I mean, especially if you're trying to hide with a medallion or something, they'll know you have a medallion, and I have this mentality when I see someone else with one, where I just gotta push them, right? You know, if they have a medallion, I am pushing you, and I am going to try eliminating you, because you're right next to me, and it's like, might as well take out one of the big players in the match, because that's what I think of when they have this, is, oh, they're going to be a worthy opponent, they're going to be a big opponent in this match that I'm going to be able to face. But no, you know, most of the time it's like, you know, I either get wrecked by their whole entire team or whatever else, or in other cases, they're just kind of not doing the best, right? And I mean, you know, vice versa. Whenever I have the medallion and people are coming after me, I don't always do the best every single time I have it, so it's just like, did they really need to nerf it? Do we need some middle ground in between the nerf and the previous, you know, base update version of it? I don't know, but I just wanted to kind of complain about it because, you know, we're kind of out of news to talk about, to be completely honest, for Fortnite right now, and medallions have been one of those things that I've kind of been teetering on for a while, being like, is this useful? Is this not? When I play with other people, you know, they typically pick up the medallion or whatever, so I let them go ahead and grab it. But man, you know, it's like whenever I play alone, half the time, I don't even want to grab the medallion if I'm playing a normal match. So until next time, hope you champs and champions enjoyed today's YouTube video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and peace out.